Dear students, so today we will have a practical on an important element of Python that is called the series, and series is a part of the libraries in Python which is called pandas. So in this library, we will today go for series, and in the next video we'll go for data frames and then how to plot the different plots. So there is we will start with example from a series, right? How we can create a series and how can we print it. So let's go to the um Python Jupyter. Okay, so after installing the Jupyter, so you can do all this one by one. So let's start with the NumPy. So as you already know that NumPy is used to play with the mathematical things, right? While pandas is more advanced form of this one, and it you can do some operations which is related to series, right? So for series, either you can write like PD, or you can write directly as well if you have already imported. So as you know that series is a part of the pandas library. So in this one, how we can write it? So there is some common mistake usually when student they do it is just like when they are writing this structure. So the most important thing is the parenthesis must be first. Okay, so it should be on the outer boundaries, and the brackets or the square bracket should be inside the inner, right? And the other common mistake which students they do, they just forget this comma. So commas are very important. So without commas, it will be considered as a single element, right? So that is most important thing. And similarly for printing the things, or for printing, this part is optional. Like it is just for your information whether you want to print, to know that what is the output value. But this s is important. This s is the variable in which we will store all this data into a single variable, so it becomes easy to output. So instead of writing all this data, we just like store this one into the s, and the s will be then easily outputted through the print command, right? And similarly we can also have the values. For example, if you want to output the values, we need a function with that one which is called the variable with the dot and then values, right? That is most important thing. And then if you want to see the index, means the address of each element. For example, what is the address of this one? What is the address? Usually we start with the 0 and 1, then 2, then 3, 4 and 5, right? So it will show you the index of it. So index means the address of each element inside the series. So series is a set of the elements which is being like shown to you. So there are, like, we have like time series, we have a harmonic series, we have a geometric series. So these kind of series can be easily manipulated with this data sets, and you can have some like more important forecasting on it, as like time series forecasting is a very important element in series and in stock exchange, and also in various commodities which is related to the time. And the last thing is called d type. So d type is about the data type, whether this is a integer value, or either it's a float value, whether it's an object. So object is a combination of the numerical value as well as a function, but here I think it is mostly float value. If you see over here, it's a floating value, so because there is a points in it. So let's run this one. So I have already run this one, so I just want to rerun for you. And if you run it, so you will get the all the values in s. So this is the index, or the address. This is the address. And if you see over here, like for example the values, so they will put you output the values of these are the different values which we will get it. Okay. And this is simply, yeah, when you want to say this is slash n. So because of this one slash n, it's a new line. So s is printed, for example, this is printed before, or this will be printed before the equal sign, and the rest of the element will be printed in the next line. If you see over here, so the next elements are printed in the next lines. And then uh, and then the data type is a float. As I told you, it's a floating values because there is a points in it. And then we have like other values in the index. So index is the range. Basically it starts from 0 and it stops at 6, and it's the jumping is 1. So step 1 means that it jumps like 1, so after one step. and also the data type is 64 for the address. Now, now how can we create a series from a NumPy? So as already we already know that that how can we like create some series from the NumPy as well. Now see over here that S2 the series we have to put over here and NP. So before one we created the series from pandas, right? So this is PD basically. If you write PD, so it will be a PD. It will work as well. So let me rerun for you. So yeah, so no, so it means it's confirmed that it's a PD. But sometime if you want to make a series from the from NumPy, so how can we do it? So there is a very simple way. So you need to create like NP inside the series one, and then with the random values, right? So it will create 10 random values from the system, and then you can have an output of these random values. And this is just like a comments for you. So if you see over here the comments for you, this is the comments which will be printed for you, and then you can have the values. So as the values will be all these values, the random values generated by the computer, and then the address. So address is ranging from 0 to 10. So if you see over here 10 values, and the jump is 1. So means like after means after 0 it's 1, then 2, then 3. So the difference between every element, if you see the difference between element is a 1. So you see over here 1 2 3, and then we have a data type. So this is about the second one. Now let's move to this one. Yeah, this one is also from the PD pandas, right? So if you don't mention the NP here, so here we mention the NP, so it was from the NP library, okay, NumPy library. But from the this one is from the Panda. So here we do some another trick over here, and the common mistake I would like to highlight that what are the common mistakes. So especially be careful with this bracket. So the parenthesis should be first, and then square bracket should be second. And another most important thing, these commas are like especially forgotten by the students, and this one especially, this one is very important. So students usually forget this comma, right? So especially in exam or somewhere or in practice, so this is most important thing, because this is a continuation of this one. So this one, because will be continuation, and this bracket it ends over here, right? So it doesn't end over here, so there is a comma. So there is a data and the index. So index is basically the address, so you can write like this one, or you can write in that way. And similarly, now you can see the S3. So what is the value of S3? You can print that one. So if I see over here S3, and then commas is very much important. So usually most of the students, or even me, I forgot the commas over here. So that is most important thing. Yeah, so the S3 is important. So then we like print all the value of S3, then values. So values is very systematic. So it will put you in a straightforward row, while this one will be in the next line over here. So it start with the 1.2, okay, and it will start with the end with the minus 3.2. And then we have index. So index is the address, as I told you that for value 1.2 the address is January 1, for values 2.5 the address is January 2, for minus 2.2 the address is January 3. So the index is basically the address. Data type, so is a floating value, is already you know that one. Okay, now let's go to this one. This is very interesting one here. Here we make a dictionary. So for dictionary, this curly bracket is a most important thing, curly bracket. So we use curly bracket, and then another important thing is two dots, two double dots, or we call it full colon. Okay, so it's not a semicolon, it's a full colon. And for like, for example, if you want to make a dictionary, so this is like element of the dictionary. So you connect these two words. For capital of Saudi Arabia is Riyadh, for Bahrain is Manama, for Pakistan is Islamabad, for England is London, right? And for Paris is PA, for France is Paris, right? So we creating a series from dictionary. So this is our dictionary, okay? So from here we will write like create a series. Yes. So what we do it, we put this element here, right? So this element is put over here, and then and you create a series. So how, so after this one, so you can see over here the series is shown to you. So we usually print the series with the values, index and d type, and here is the all the values you can see over here. Now next what we see, yeah, so the next step, for example, if it ends with the previous one s3, it usually ends with the January 6. So the address is like, reaching to January 6, okay, and it has 6 values, right? So but if you want to add another value, but the another value we want to add is nan means like, uh, the nan means like, not a number. Okay, so not a number means like, when you divide some number with the zero, so it becomes infinity. So we don't want to put any solid number, we just want to put some dummy or not a number in that one. And the next address is January 7. So what we added this one in it, and let's see how we can, is it updated or not. So we will see that one. There is a new thing as shape. So a shape is this one. Shape means that how is the dimensions of this series, how it will look like. Size and shape usually comes like in a similar, but shape is they show in a brackets, while counting is the total number of the counts they have it, right? So the counting is 6 because 9 is not counted as a number. Next we have is some filter. If you want to apply some filter, for example, in S3, if you want to see that I want the values which are greater than 0, means non-negative values, or we sometime if you have some non-negative constraints, so you can also apply it. Just like in operation management, you have like, objective functions and constraint. So you can put this constraint on it, and this constraint is S3 is greater than 0. So all of your values will be equal, like, greater than 0. You can also put like, equal sign as well, but here we just want greater than sign. Okay, now the next value, the next one is like, in case if you want to add some extra value with the series with every element of S3, then this is very easy. You just need to say plus 4, and if you divide every element of S3 with the 4, you can do the same one. Okay, now the last thing which we have is like, color. So we can have also the color. So the common mistake, I told you that braces should be first, the parentheses should be first, and the square bracket should be in the inner one, right? So we put some colors over here, different colors, and then we printed the colors with a new line. Slash n means the new line. Okay, but we want to count that how many colors are there. So there is a function colors dot values underscore count. So remember this function, it can be used in a different in different times, in exams or anywhere, or in job interviews, like so. See that how you can count the different numbers. So you can see over here. So I think red is repeated, yeah, red is repeated, blue is repeated, and white is not repeated, green is not repeated, and the values are, they say these are integer. So all 2 is integer, 2 is integer, 1 is integer value, 1 is integer. So integer is means without dots, right? So and this one is an object. Object means like, it has character values, it has numeric values, it has a function. So object is a very dynamic. So integer comes is when it's like, you have a full value, whole value. Float means when you have a salaries, like, when you have dots inside it, and then character is when you have like, text inside it. When but object is more like, multi diverse. In object you have numbers, you have character values, and you have a function as well. So I hope you understand this lab, and then you can perform it. So thank you very much, see you in the next lab.